And we're off.
Off. Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right, let's get some hype in the chat, boys. Root on your runner. Good luck to both. All right, so how about we, I guess, just briefly talk about the category we're doing here, 8-bit no out of bounds. So we're only doing the 8-bit portion of the game, which is not the full game, but it's very nice for a race setting. It's, you know, a little over half an hour. So expect to see some insanely good 31s and 32s at their best.
For sure. And no out of bounds, it's the most popular category. People prefer to play the game without major glitches, so...
Yeah, the out of bounds are really nice and all, but they're pretty hard to perfect, and they could really kind of change up the race dynamic when someone gets the out of bound first try and the other one takes forever to get it. So this is, you know, just sticking to the intended gameplay for the most part.
Alright, so the first bit of movement kind of saw basically if you hit something in midair, so there's these lanterns scattered around the maps, each level. And if you hit one midair or you hit an enemy midair, you regain your jump. So if you hit something, then jump, then hit something else, then jump, you can basically stay in the air infinitely. That's kind of the idea, and it's really important. It's really what makes the movement flow in this game, and it's awesome.
Yeah, the cloud step mechanic is just really cool, and it really makes, you know, the speedrun what it is, honestly. It's pretty much the core gameplay, and pretty much the main reason why a lot of us really liked it when we first tried it. Alright, so they're basically tied right now. I mean, the beginning is just, you know, story stuff, you know, you're now the messenger, please deliver this scroll to the top of the mountain, yada yada. And thanks to the mash patch, there's no variance in mashing depending on how good you are, because you can just simply hold 2 buttons down and it advances the text at like lightning speed consistently, so...
Right. The first thing we're going to see is they're going to be grabbing 40 coins before they enter the first shop, because we're going to grab our first upgrade.
Oh, come on, Kodran. Respect the lore. They're called time shards.
Time shards. 40 time shards.
Only pulling your leg. Yeah, so they need 40. So there's a lot of, like, random chances at time shards along the way. There's, like, the 2 first guys you kill in the opening cutscene. They each have a chance. There's the 3 or 4 enemies you kill along the way here. And then the lanterns always drop 3.
Yeah, so Kuni had to grab some from the wall on the right, so it cost him frames. Just a bit behind now.
Yeah. So they both dipped into the shop because, well, you kind of have to because you have no way to progress. So it gives you the climbing claws, which lets you climb up walls. And while you're there, you purchase the upgrade that lets you slash projectiles. So normally you wouldn't be able to, and you would just get hit by it. But now you could actually attack projectiles and then still use your cloud step, which is really cool.
Yeah, so here's a damage boost that it's a little inconsistent, and it looks like yeah, Kuni got the damage boost forwards. TwoCplus got knocked backwards, so we had to take the swinging platform, which is slower.
Yeah, so you're gonna see that a lot throughout the course of the run. There's a lot of opportunities to, you know, take damage to save time, and the spikes deal 3 damage, so you gotta be a little careful with that. So really, it's just about managing your health and finding the best places to boost. So using the spike boost there is a little bit faster.
Yeah, they're going to be grabbing health in this room just to do a damage boost shortly through the second saw blade. And 2C's not going to do this damage boost, and I know why, because there's a one that's coming up in the next room where he goes over this tower of spikes, and we'll see if he can get it. It's pretty rare. He does not get it. It's a shame,
Close
but
one. Yeah.
You always have to give respect for him going for that one.
Yeah. It only saves a little bit of time, but that little bit of time is, you know, could make the difference in this race with how amazing these 2 runners are.
Yeah, he got it in the previous race he had against N2, and that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Here's a little interesting jump that Kuni's gonna do. Oh, he actually missed it first try, but he gets the backup.
Yeah.
2C also missed the platform there, so it's really not too bad, but just getting the backup strategies.
so before the end of this level, they're hoping to get 130 time shards so they can make their next set of purchases before the next boss.
Yeah, and we're approaching the few final screens of this stage before the boss. And they both have enough coins, which is always good. Or time shards. Both have enough time shards. So they're going to be buying the Shuriken, which is the ranged attack, and you'll see why against this boss. And they're also buying the air recovery, so if they get hit mid-air, they can do a jump and recover from it instead of falling down, which can be detrimental if you're above a bottomless pit. But here they're gonna try to kill this boss before he has the chance to do anything. So just mashing attack and using all the shurikens, and they're both gonna get it.
Easy peasy.
And now we're in the Forlorn Temple. It's an interesting level. We're now out of the Forlorn Temple.
That's it.
That's the whole thing.
Gonna have to get the game yourself to actually see the full thing.
Yeah, we won't be seeing it for the rest of this run. So we're now into the catacombs, which it's a little bit dangerous. There's a lot of like crushers, as you can see at the end of this room. They are one-hit kills. If you get crushed, you are dead. And a lot of cycle-based kind of situations where you're trying to catch the early cycle so you don't have to wait an extra few seconds, that kind of thing.
So throughout this level, that caped enemy is spawning enemies that you have to defeat before you can progress. We'll see that another time. Yeah, and shoutouts to the Folkens. Those are those little tiny worker dudes who are aptly named because they are scared of a certain thing. They all have names based on their fears.
Pretty clean so far.
Yeah, so right here there's you know, a choice between whether you want to do a certain damage boost here or later. It's a little bit faster to do a spike boost later on. So while that does look slow there, where you have to kind of wait for the crusher to pass by, there is a faster place to spike boost, so that's why they don't do it there.
So KuningasEST, while and 2C right behind him are entering the 3 wizard rooms. So this necromancer is gonna spawn 3 wizards. The wizards teleport. It's RNG, so we're gonna see where this third one goes. Kunis was not very friendly. Neither was 2C's, so not the worst, but also not the best RNG.
Yeah. Despite that, though, these racers are only like a room behind, so really not that far. Oh yeah, the tunes are such bangers. You know, shoutouts to Rainbow Dragon Eyes, the composer of this game, for creating such a really catchy soundtrack.
Yeah, for sure. So here's the cycle in this room on this giant crusher that hopefully both players are going to get, but it can be a little bit tight. You have to play the room very well, but they're both going to get it.
Nice, yeah. Very, very well done. I think they all got pretty much all the skips, so that's good.
Yeah.
Alright, so here we have this guy who's revealed to be much shorter than it appears. This is Ruxton. So you can give 2 patterns here. Let's see which ones they get.
They both get the slower pattern, which
Yeah.
it's good that neither had the advantage of good RNG here, I suppose,
Right.
but both unlucky on this fight, and that's going to cost 8 seconds compared to getting the better pattern.
So as you can see here, you can quickly get up to that top platform there by kind of just chilling on the top of the left wall and then just damage boosting off of the pew pew green fireball thingies. And yeah, so normally the good pattern, he would spawn up top right away, so you can just do that, you know, strat right away and just basically one cycle, which now is possible. So hopefully they get to show it off in a later race.
Yeah. So we're entering Bamboo Creek, which it has a lot of tight movement and skips and stuff, so we'll kind of see who goes for what strats and how it turns out.
Yeah, shovel please in chat. Bamboo hype. This is an excellent level. Lots of cool tricks here and there. Oh, interesting. 2C went for, well, at least I've seen Dragon Strike do it. You just like kind of like jump straight to the bottom platform and like barely avoid the spike ball falling down.
Yeah.
But then the follow-up wasn't that great.
Yeah, so here's a jump over the tree. I'm sure they're both going to use the fireball. Yeah, Kuni used the fireball there just to get over this tree thing in the middle. 2C also using the fireball. It's a lot safer.
This is not out of bounds, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's totally intended.
So the next room, there's some interesting strats. I think KuningasEST will probably go for what's called the N2 skip here. Yes, he will, and we'll see if he can get that. Yes, he does. So he used the projectiles there to get up. 2C is taking the slower route, but the safer route, easier to execute, and so he will make it up there as well.
And throughout this second half here, you're going to see a lot of what I call double lantern jumps, where you jump, you hit the lantern, and then you kind of like do a cloud step and another slash right away to get like kind of like a double jump off the lantern.
Yeah, so this room 2C's entering now, you'll see that's the double lantern jump, just to get up here without having to mess around with using the projectiles and stuff. So both runners have enough coins, or time shards. They're looking to have 275 going into the next shop, which they will have because there are some available at the start of the next stage. Kuni has to grab one there, but that's not too bad. And they're going to be buying, well, they're going to be receiving the wingsuit, which is kind of a, like, flotation thing. You'll see Kuni here, he's going to pop out the wingsuit and float up on that little geyser of air. And they buy the underwater dash and the wingsuit attack. So you could see there where he attacks downwards, so that's an upgrade that he had to purchase, and 2C as well.
Yeah, the wingsuit attack isn't really required, but it really helps a lot and saves time here and there. I think both runners opting to go the right side of that room. It's always impressive to see them navigate their way down that spiky downwards hallway.
Yeah, it was really nice.
And as far as the underwater dash goes, unfortunately, since we can't really get it early, there's only like one spot in this level that we use it in. In fact, I think it's the only spot in the entire run where we use underwater dash. Yeah, and any percent, there's a lot more game to be had, and that underwater dash has many more uses, but that's just the way it goes. Oh, shoutouts to the Donkey Kong room, named by Bojan over here.
Yes, the Donkey Kong room.
Also, shoutouts to Hey in the song. So there are some songs in this game where they have a little Hey soundbite, which is the staff kind of yelling "Hey" at the same time and putting it in the music, which is a nice touch. And,
yeah, I noticed Kuni did a little crouch during the hay. Just
yeah,
that's
funny. Yeah, so we kind of use those hays just to kind of, you know, give us an idea of like how well we're doing in the level. So if we're like deep into the Donkey Kong room at the first hay, that's pretty good. Then ideally you want the second one pretty much at the end of the level, like right before the boss.
I think if you play the level perfectly, you may be able to skip the second hay, but I've never done it for sure.
Yeah, that's probably possible, but yeah. I haven't seen that personally.
Just clean movement all around in the stage. They've both been playing really well. There's the second hay.
Yeah, so Kuni had it like right past the checkpoint.
Yeah.
Alright, so the Howling Grotto boss is pretty neat. It has 2 phases, and what they're looking to do here in the first phase is kind of do a 2 cycle. So what you gotta do is you gotta basically hit that center, you know, thing that you have to hit 7 times, go off to the side, shoot a shuriken for the 8th hit, which, you know, triggers the wind, the vents of wind on the sides, and you go up there and you slash a whole bunch.
It's interesting, Kuni went for 3 damage boosts. I think 2C is opting for the more traditional, only 1 damage boost at the start.
Yeah, a lot of people do this differently, and there's also like which sides they go on, like they go right side, left side. They're all very minor differences in the end.
So pretty good phase 2s. Yeah, that was. It's a very quick phase, but you can see that Kuni ended his character at like near the top of the screen. 2C was more near the middle, and so that saves time on having to float down into the cutscene.
Right, exactly. The best thing you could do is you can kind of like shoot a shuriken and then fall down. You could actually be off screen below. So if the situation presents itself and you can do that, that saves a lot of time. And now we're in Cloister Marsh, where the wingsuit attack is very much appreciated. So you'll be seeing it like basically, maybe not every room, but almost every room there's a use for it.
Yeah, so it's, I think you could say that this is a pretty like lateral level, so you're mostly going right, especially in this room that they're both in now. It's basically you want to hold right the entire time, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Just hold right forehead.
Yeah.
So right here is the longest, basically the longest room in this level, probably of this category too. It's just a really, really long horizontal room, like Kodran said, just hold it right. Meanwhile, they're getting some more money. They don't absolutely really need it at this point, though there are some optional shop purchases in the next level that I think both runners will opt to go for. And they are merely like less than 5 seconds apart still, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't really talked too much about the shurikens that you get, but yeah, you can use it to hit, you know, faraway switches. So we pretty much kind of route out the levels to make the best use of the 3 that we have by default.
Yeah, I'd say their biggest use is on all the bosses. So you saw it in the Leaf Golem in the first stage. You saw it. They used it on Ruxton on the second boss in the Catacombs, and they used it on the Emerald Golem to get that 2 cycle by shooting it from the side. So pretty much every boss has a use for the shurikens. Saves a lot of time.
And in this room here, at least I saw 2C do it. I didn't catch if Uni did it, but you can kind of wingsuit attack off of a lantern to be at a good height, and then into the second room you just quickly fire 2 shurikens to kill the blue spiky boy and then hit the switch behind it, which saves the time for you having to go up there and hit it yourself.
Yeah.
So I think Kuni might not have gotten it, and that's why 2C is a little bit closer now. nearly in sync. Frames apart, pretty much.
Oh wow, it's really close. This room there's a skip, but I'm not sure if either will go for it since they're on 3 HP and it's dangerous. Kuni's going for
Kuni
it.
went for
Wow.
it. Oh man, the lead just switched like twice there in that room. It was pretty funny.
So that was really cool. You go around the left side and kind of guide your way over the spike platform, but if you bonk your head on that one, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent work. So now we have the Queen of Quills here. So ideally you want to get this first hit off, and then you just, you know, slash a bunch, watch out for the thorns that she shoots, and you want to get it so that they don't make the Queen of Quills go back up there on the hooks. So you just slash a whole bunch, do enough damage, and then go straight to the whip phase.
Wow, it is so close right now.
Yeah.
Like, it is the same frame. This is
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Actually insane. Yeah, this is insane.
That's awesome. But yeah, so that fight's entirely based on how much damage you do. So as long as you reach a minimum threshold, you'll always have the exact same fight in terms of what attacks the boss will do. Wow.
Yeah, this is incredible. Alright, so now we're in Searing Crags. We're gonna get a new upgrade, because once again, we can't progress in the level, and the shopkeeper is being an awesome dude and giving us some new cool gadgets and stuff. So they're gonna give us the rope dart now, which lets you not only rope onto walls, but also hit enemies and go through them. So you're gonna be seeing that like everywhere now for the rest of the run.
Yeah, the rope dart is super fast, and it makes the speedrun a lot of fun to play and to watch, so we'll see some really cool strats here.
So in this room, they kind of sneakily hop on top of that spiky platform and then just jump to the left to skip a lot on the right side. And now we're going to see our first instance of, I guess, what we have called now the Hansan, which Hansan's a Chinese runner, or formerly known as Hansan. And I don't know, he was just, I guess, known for doing a lot of those like rope darts like on a wall that doesn't look like you really need to like have to do it, but it saves frames here and there every time you do. So remember to rope dart walls.
TwoC missed one of the skips where you're trying to go through the ceiling, so he lost a bit of time on Kuni here.
Yeah, he missed the one with the, not the stalagmite, whatever the opposite of a stalagmite is. Kuni always corrects. That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay, so, you got your coins and time shards, I got that.
He ended up having to go around the right side and then come through the next room, so that lost some time.
Alright, so with that unfortunate situation, Kuni's now back in the lead by probably another 5 seconds or so.
And we're entering the boss fight for this area, which is Kolos and Seuss's. And so they're going to kind of tag out. And one you can hit from the front, the green one, and one you can only hit from the back, the orange one. And we're going to be seeing a lot of rope dart here because it gives you frames of invincibility, and so if they throw rocks and stuff at you, you can just rope dart and you won't take any damage from them. So that's kind of the strategy here.
So basically last level was just hold right forehead. This boss fight is basically just rope dart forehead. Pretty much good to go.
They're both executing really well, like getting all the damage off when both are on screen, trying to hit both of them at the same time, and following them up as they try to tag out.
And unfortunately this boss also has some RNG with, I guess, like how many of the patterns they give you, and there's a bunch of different ones they can give as well, and some that are slower than others. But it looks like they had about the same, maybe?
I think TwoC had a little bit better of a fight.
Okay, yeah, because maybe he caught up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, now we're in Glacial Peak. This is another Sour Please / Shovel Please level. Excellent music and lots of really cool platforming here. It's mostly vertical as well. It is a mountain that you're climbing, and the vertical sections are just so satisfying to pull off.
I think a lot of people agree this is their favorite level just because of how it's designed in terms of how you can move through the levels or through the rooms so cleanly as you climb up, and the use of the rope dart. It's really satisfying.
Right, this is probably like 2C's chance to come back because he knows he's like really proud of his Glacial Peak, and we saw him practicing it too before the race started. So we'll see if his practice in this level is gonna pay off and catch up. But Kuni's also really good at this level too, so anything can happen here.
I think 2C might be the only person with under 2 minutes 50 on this level. I think he has a 2:49. So
yeah, I think that's right, but who knows?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shoutouts to that guy with a big sword or spear or whatever that we just kind of ignored twice in the run.
So Kuni just went for some swag strats.
Oh yeah, he was telling me about this.
He used the wind and kind of kept his momentum as he entered the screen above, and he flew over some spikes, whereas 2C took the traditional route where you kind of go down and then up through the left side of the room. So
yeah.
Not sure which is faster, but Kuni definitely showing off a little bit.
Yeah, Kuni told me it was faster, so I'm gonna believe him. I didn't really look at it myself, but yeah, it looks really cool.
Really, yeah.
Oh, 2C missing a rope dart. That's gonna cost him like maybe not even a second. And there we are. We successfully delivered the scroll to the top of the mountain. The 3 shopkeepers there waiting for us, and now they're super excited to spawn this Tower of Time and do the thing. No, really, that is what they say. They want to do the thing. So this is the final dungeon, or I guess final level of the of this category. So it all comes down to this. So Kuni finishing with a 27:45, 2C with 27:49. So once again, they're still within 5 seconds of each other.
And 5 seconds is just enough for the laser damage boost, which there's a damage boost later on in this level where since the lasers do 4 damage to you, you need to have at least 5 HP. And with wizards, as you'll see in the room Kuni's in right now, there's a bit of RNG and they can be a little bit annoying. And they can take that those couple HP away from you.
Yeah, so I don't remember if we talked about this in Syrian Crags, but I think both of them bought the HP upgrade to have a 6th HP. So that way, in case RNG happens and they get damaged, they can still do the laser boost skip.
Yeah. 2C got that rope dart in the previous room, which saves a bit of time compared to Kuni, who missed it and had a little bit of out of bounds into the crusher, but that one's pretty common and it doesn't save any time, so
yeah,
we just allow that. Kuni took 2 damage. Kuni!
Oh no, he got crushed. Oh, what a disaster.
That's a real shame. And
that really is, yeah.
The next room had a checkpoint as well. So the wizard was in his way and he tried to kind of navigate around the left side of it, but he ended up crushed by the platform as he tried to exit.
That's just the kind of thing that happens with these Wizrobes and their silly RNG.
And wow, the wizard right here. Yeah. Oh, and the wizard in the crusher!
Oh my goodness.
Kuni getting... Wow. I said the wizards can be annoying, but man, they can kill you. They can crush a run.
Meanwhile, on the other side, 2C is a very healthy boy, and he's gonna successfully do this laser skip.
Yeah, so that saves, I think I've heard from people, it saves about 6 seconds, rather than having to wait for the platform to block the lasers for you.
Yeah, sounds about right. It's a pretty big deal. And unfortunately, just to put more salt in the wound, Kuni doesn't have 5 HP at least, so he cannot do this skip, putting him even more behind.
We'll kind of see the slow way of this platform climbing up with it.
So once again, using the shurikens to our advantage here to hit faraway switches. More Wizrobes, but at this point you're pretty much good to go. The Wizrobes here are kind of whatever. And here we have the very, very boring room of just hold right 4 times, hold left 3 times.
Yeah, and 2C is just entering the final room for the boss fight. This is a really neat room where the platforms kind of fall away and the lasers show themselves.
Yeah. And he is opting to skip the HP and the shuriken refill, because he's already pretty healthy and the shurikens are pretty optional, you don't have to go out of your way to get them. So here is the final boss of this category, the Arcane Golem. Really cool sprite work, really cool boss. Let's see how he does.
So the strategy here is actually called the 2C special, and you'll see him kind of dancing in the center of the head here, left and right with the rope dart. So 2C came up with that one, and it's really cool to watch. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, looking real good. 32-21 from 2C. He is the winner of the first race. Very great time there.
Yeah, that's nice.
Let's see if Kuni can follow up with a 32 of his own death.
Yeah, I think Kuni has been practicing the 2C special. He's opting just to go for mostly just using the rope dart and attack. But he's still getting those rope darts as the clap happens, keeping him inside the head, and so that's a really good fight as well. So, and also at 32. So both really nice runs. Kuni unfortunate with the wizard luck, but still really nice stuff.
Yeah, so 2C takes game 1, but it's not over yet. It is a best of 3. So Kuni can make the ultimate comeback and win 2 straight, or 2C can win and take it himself. So I think we're gonna give the runners a little bit of a break, unless they want to get back into the action. So we're also gonna be swapping commentators here. So yeah, thank you for joining me, Kodran. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, we'll be watching race 2, and yeah, get ready for that, guys.
Yeah, stay tuned.